We have started with morphology of flowering plants. Please do not. We have started with morphology of flowering plants, with which we have completed the roots, we have completed the stem, we have completed the leaf, all the three along with their modifications. We have also completed a part of the flower, that is, we had completed with the inflorescence, and we had also seen the types of inflorescence in our last lecture. Now, today what we are planning is to complete the flower, okay? Because as we all know that there is nothing called as modification of flowers, but there are much more details that you should know about the typical structure of flowers. Now my dears, like you might think that what exactly, flower के ऊपर कितने सारे questions आ सकते हैं. Basically you have to concentrate on the basic structure of the flower. So let us begin with our lecture, that is morphology of flowering plants. And now I am talking about the flower, that is basically the solitary flower that I will be talking about in detail. The other day we had seen something called as inflorescence, that was a group of florets basically that were to become conspicuous, or the one which could be seen very clearly. They form a cluster, and that cluster was an inflorescence that we were talking about. Now today I am talking about the solitary structure of the flower, or rather when I say solitary, a single flower, right? And we are going to talk about this with respect to the morphological structure entirely, right? As defined, flower is nothing but it is a modified reproductive shoot, right? When I say modified, बेटा देखो ये थोड़ा आपका plant kingdom का base ले रही हूँ मैं यहाँ पर. We have already studied the plant kingdom in detail. So in that there is something called as a sporophytic generation and a gametophytic generation, right? Yeah. So when we say the sporophytic generation of angiosperms, what is that? What is the sporophytic generation? What is the difference between sporophytic generation and gametophytic generation basically? Gamete formation, haploid, diploid. अच्छा, angiosperms में dominant कौन होता है? Sporophyte dominant है या gametophyte dominant है? अच्छा, ये मैं थोड़ा आपको plant kingdom के हिसाब से पढ़ा रही हूँ. Reason है उसके पीछे. Why I am saying this? These are the questions. Sporophyte is dominant. Very correct. Now, when I say dominant, please don't misunderstand this word dominant with recessive of Mendel. Okay? Whenever I say this word dominant, इसका मतलब है जो अपने आँखों से दिखता है. The one that we can see with our own eyes is going to be considered as dominant. So here, the entire plant body that is green in color is dominant, is independent. Independent का मतलब क्या हुआ यहाँ पर? It is capable of performing photosynthesis, right? So that particular sporophyte का ही ये modified part है जिसको हम flower कहते हैं. तो flower is not the gametophyte. Understood why I took the base? It is not the gametophyte. It's the sporophyte, and in this sporophytic generation you have got certain specialized structures which would be considered as male gametophyte and female gametophyte. Clear about this? Okay. So when I talk about a single flower, basically you should know that the flower has got 4 whorls. Now what is this whorls? Whorls क्या होते हैं? Anything that forms a circular complex is going to be called as a whorl. ठीक है? अब ये जो 4 whorls होते हैं बेटा, of these 4 whorls, there are 2 whorls, and these are the 2 different whorls. In this way, the 4 whorls are segregated as 2 plus 2. Now why I have written this in 2 different ways? The reason is these 2 whorls are going to be called as non-essential non-essential whorls. It's not nonsense, okay? It's non-essential. Okay? On the other hand, these two whorls would be considered as essential whorls. The two names that come along with this non-essential is going to be called as your calyx and corolla. And the one which goes with the essential whorls is going to be called as your androecium and gynoecium. ठीक है? अब ये non-essential क्यों है? What is the reason that they are coming under the heading of non-essential two whorls? The reason is they are directly not involved in gamete formation. Just now I had told you all that in a specialized structure called flower, there are two different gametophytes which are nothing but male gametophyte and female gametophyte. They are going to be involved in the production of gametes. So these two basically are going to be directly involved in the production of gametes, and therefore these two are going to be considered as essential whorls. Right? What exactly the individual members are called? Calyx is made up of sepals, corolla is made up of petals, androecium is made up of stamens, and gynoecium is made up of a pistil, or you call it as a carpel. Both is correct. Okay? So this is going to be your overall important four whorls that we are going to do in detail. ठीक है? तो we'll go one by one. एक एक को एनालाइज करते हैं, एक एक की स्पेशलिटी जान लेते हैं. बेसिक तो आपको सबको पता है. Let me go into the details of each. When I go into the details of each, the first whorl that I'm going to talk about is going to be the calyx. What are the specialities of the calyx? Now before I go to that calyx, I think I need to draw a typical structure over here of the flower. I am sure that you all are aware of this particular structure, but still just see the way I am drawing. I am drawing the first, that is going to be the innermost structure, and last but not the least we have got something like this. So I'll just label them. I have already written the names over here, so I'll just label these parts. The innermost whorl is going to be called as your gynoecium, which is going to be made up of pistil or carpel. This is going to be your stamen. This is going to be the petal. This is going to be the sepal. And if you see this particular structure, this one is going to be called as your thalamus. ठीक है? तो ये बेसिक, बिल्कुल बेसिक फ्लावर का स्ट्रक्चर हो गया बच्चा. इसमें वेरिएशंस क्या क्या है आगे देखेंगे हम लोग, बट ये है थैलेमस. Thalamus acts like a stage on which all the four whorls would be arranged in a circular fashion. तो एक स्टेज चाहिए, एक बेस चाहिए, उस बेस के ऊपर ये चारों के चारों whorls placed होते हैं. Right? So this is going to be your typical structure of flower. Now I go directly to the calyx. You might have seen this calyx very clearly in Hibiscus rosa sinensis. Generally, the flower which is used in your lab for your studies, practicals में आपने देखा होगा ये, that this is your hibiscus के जो crown like green base जो होता है, that is going to be your calyx. Now, what is the speciality of this calyx? That is, this sepals, these sepals can either be free or they can be united. The sepals can be free or united. Now बच्चा यहाँ पर आपके क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं नीट पैटर्न के, या AIPMT में जो पूछे जाते थे, the terms or the terminologies which would define this. ठीक है? So यहाँ पर if the sepals are free, they are called as polysepalous, and if they are united, they would be called as gamosepalous. राइट। अगर मैंने दिस इज आउटर मोस्ट वॉल, ओके, दिस इज द आउटर मोस्ट वॉल, इसको हम आउटर मोस्ट कहते हैं, फर्स्ट कहते हैं, ठीक है। अब ये जो होता है, अगर मैं इसको ओपन करती हूँ ना, जैसे अगर हिबिस्कस फ्लावर है, उस हिबिस्कस फ्लावर के बेस के उस ग्रीन स्ट्रक्चर को अगर मैं कट कर रही हूँ, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग वन कट, and if I am opening that, it appears something like this. I think you might have observed these things. Okay, and there are generally 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Generally the sepals would be in a group of 5 generally, ठीक है। अब ये function क्या है, what is the function of this sepal? The first function of the sepal is protect the flower in bud condition. Okay, when the flower is in bud condition, you can see a green color का covering present on that bud. फ्लोरल बड की बात कर रही हूँ मैं, उसके ऊपर एक ग्रीन कलर का यूं इस तरह से इमेच्योर स्ट्रक्चर होता है, उसको हम बड कहते हैं ना बेटा। उस बड को प्रोटेक्ट करना, अब बड को प्रोटेक्ट करने की जरूरत क्या है, व्हाई इज इट रिक्वायर्ड? Because once the bud is going to open into a flower, it's already going to have the 3 whorls inside it, and rather 2 essential whorls would be present inside it. Therefore, its care is at most taken by these sepals. ठीक? Second function being green in color, because they are green in color, of course they can perform photosynthesis. Okay? यहाँ तक तो बात सिंपल है, यहाँ तक बात इजी है। अब क्या हो जाता है, किसी फ्लावर्स में, in certain group of flowers, these sepals would just, as and when the bud is opening or as and when the flower is blooming, immediately the sepals are lost. ठीक है, बिल्कुल, मतलब जैसे ही फूल खिलाने की ये सेपल्स टूट जाते हैं, बिखर जाते हैं, चले जाते हैं, ऐसे फ्लावर्स को हम कहते हैं cowdus flowers. And in case of persistent calyx, in case of persistent calyx, then persistent का मतलब क्या है, फ्लावर खिल गया, उसमें से फ्रूट डेवलप हो गया, फ्रूट में सीड्स डेवलप हो गए, लेकिन फिर भी वो कैलिक्स persistent है, you can see that calyx. Such type of a persistent calyx is going to be called as decidus. So kindly remember these 2 words. Cowdus is going to be your temporary, that is, it's going to be just immediately as the flower is going to bloom out, gone. And persistent calyx जो है, इसको हम कहते हैं decidus. ठीक है, अब इसका एग्जाम्पल अगर आप याद रख सकते हो, अच्छी बात है, क्योंकि जनरली ये एक ही एग्जाम्पल आता है इसमें, राइट? और उस एग्जाम्पल का नाम है Arjamone. Only one example, and most frequently they ask you this example पे ही question, दूसरा कोई example है ही नहीं, ठीक है, इसलिए जनरली इसके ऊपर पूछते हैं। यहाँ पर बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल, बिकॉज यू कैन यू नो इट, इसलिए बता रही हूँ, इसका बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल इज गोइंग टू बी योर brinjal. You can see that green color का crown on top of the brinjal, right? That green crown is nothing but that is the persistent calyx, which is going to be called as your decidus. Clear? Again, there is a small yes.
But even chili can come, right?
Yes, even chili can come. But brinjal के ऊपर generally question पूछते हैं, इसलिए मैंने only I'm giving just one examples of it. So brinjal is generally asked, right? One more, a single modification of calyx that is given in your curriculum. Yes. Sorry.
Tomato.
हाँ. Yes. You can see that very clearly as a crown. Perfect, very true. There is only one modification of calyx जो आपके बुक में mentioned है और उसको हम कहते हैं the calyx is modified. The calyx is modified to form something called as pappus. What is this pappus? This is a calyx modification. ये कैसे दिखता है पता है? ये नहीं, ये फाइन हेयर लाइक बंच ऑफ हेयर लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स दिखता है और ये किस में दिखता है? दिस इज सीन जनरली इन पॉपी सीड्स. इज जनरली सीन इन पॉपी सीड्स फॉर डिस्पर्सल. सीड्स के डिस्पर्सल में काम आता है. तो ये जो कैलिक्स है इसका क्या फंक्शन हो गया अब? rather than protection, rather than photosynthesis, what is the main function of this pappus calyx? Dispersal of seeds. ठीक है? Can you see this part? Yeah, I think you can see this part. So, in case of this pappus, what is the function? It is dispersal of seeds. Example again, I'm writing in red. Example है इसका poppy seeds. Okay? So these are the few important points regarding calyx that you should know. They might ask you questions on gamosyphilis, polycephalus or all those things, or they might ask you about these things. Very clear? Yes, so this is about the calyx. First wall we have completed. Let's go to the second wall. That is going to be your corolla. Corolla. Individual member of corolla is going to be called as petals, right? As you all know that basically petals are going to be brightly colored. They are helping in attracting the pollinators, especially the entomophilous flowers or ornithophilous flowers. I think you all are aware of all these types, I'm sure. Don't worry, even if you are not, you are going to study that in section reproduction of flowering plants. तब ये detail हो जाएगा, ठीक है? So, ये जो है corolla जो है इसके इंडिविजुअल मेंबर्स को हम पेटल्स कहते हैं और इनका बेसिक फंक्शन है हेल्पिंग और एडिंग इन पॉलिनेशन. ओके, दे हेल्प इन पॉलिनेशन. नाउ with respect to this flowers or with respect to this petals especially, what you should know again that they can be either free or they can be fused. If they are free, they are called as polypetalous, and if they are fused or united, they are called as gamopetalous. ठीक है? ये दो ही टर्म्स है जो बेसिकली आपको याद रखने हैं for your corolla. Nothing much. Now, in case of certain plants, this corolla is going to form a typical cup-like structure or a tube-like structure, especially for the birds to get attracted. So no doubt there would be certain things that would be specific for this corolla, but basic function is attraction. Clear? As far as calyx and corolla is concerned, it's very simple that these two are just helping in pollination, right? But there is something else that is going to be seen over here. That is when the calyx and the corolla cannot be clearly distinguished from each other. मतलब अगर आप इस फ्लावर को हाथ में लेते हो ना बेटा, तो आपको ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा है कि इसमें से कैलिक्स कौन सा है, corolla कौन सा है. Such type of a flower or such type of an association is going to be called as perianth. Okay? So यहाँ पर मैं specifically लिख रही हूँ ये, that is perianth. What is perianth? Perianth is the calyx and the corolla are in कैलिक्स और करोला कैसे है, इनडिस्टिंग्विशेबल है, हमें समझता ही नहीं है कि ये कैलिक्स है ये करोला है. देखो बेटा इसका जो बेस्ट एग्जांपल है ना, आपने जो देखा होगा, दैट इज द दतुरा का फ्लावर जो गार्लैंड में डालते हैं ना. हम जो रेगुलर गार्लैंड वाले के पास जाएंगे ना, तो यू कैन सी दैट गार्लैंड, हार जिसको हम कहते हैं, उसमें वाइट कलर के कुछ यूं इस तरह के फ्लावर्स होते हैं, यू नो, दे आर जस्ट लाइक दिस वे and they form such type of structure. ये टिपिकल फ्लावर आपने गार्लैंड में देखा होगा, उसका बेस जो रहता है ना यहाँ पर, दैट इज जनरली ग्रीनिश इन कलर, and you don't know it's a calyx or it's the corolla that you are actually holding. Get me? So yes, this is going to be a typical perianth that is seen in your datura. Now, individual members of perianth are going to be called as tepals. What are they called? Tepals. What are tepals? जैसे कोरोला में पेटल्स है, कैलिक्स में सेपल्स है, वैसे पेरियांथ के इंडिविजुअल मेंबर्स को हम कहते हैं टेपल्स. ठीक, ये जो टेपल्स है, these are your individual members of पेरियांथ. ठीक, अब ये जो पेरियांथ होता है, ये जो टेपल्स होते हैं, they can be of two different colors. Okay? If it is green in color, then we call it as, if it's green in color, then we call it as cephaloid perianth. And if it is different colored और किसी कलर का है, तो हम इसको कहते हैं petaloid perianth. Okay? Cephaloid, just like sepals, green है तो just like sepals, इसलिए इसको हम कहते हैं cephaloid perianth. और अगर brightly colored है, colorful है, ये जो tepals है वो, तो इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? We call it as petaloid perianth. So these are the few things that come under your non-essential words. Now my dears, in your non-essential words, I had just mentioned 2 plus 2. Right? Then why am I mentioning perianth? Because it's going to be a combination of calyx and corolla का modification. तो ये third, ये और एक नया whorl नहीं है. It's not another whorl. You understand my point? Therefore, whorls are only 4. Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. But when calyx and corolla are indistinguishable, then it is going to be called as perianth. ये नया whorl नहीं बनता है. ये क्लियर मतलब माइंड में रखना. क्लियर ना? वेरी नाइसली अंडरस्टूड. ओके, नाउ देयर इज समथिंग मोर दैट वी हैव टू नो बिफोर प्रोसीडिंग विथ androecium and gynoecium. That is, we would now be talking about the positions of this calyx and corolla with individual members on themselves, and this is going to be called as something called as aestivation. You might have heard about this, right? Okay. So let us understand what is this aestivation. We are talking specifically of this aestivation with respect to sepals की position और petals की position, है ना? ठीक. अब ये जो aestivation है, ये बहुत important बन जाता है because बहुत बार aestivation पे questions आ चुके हैं. They have asked many a times question on aestivation. What exactly is aestivation? Aestivation को define कैसे करोगे? Aestivation is the relative position of sepals with other members or petals with other members. ठीक. अब यहाँ पर मैं बहुत एक important point बेटा याद रखने के लिए बोल रही हूँ. The point is, when a flower is going to be studied as an individual flower, the position of the sepals and the position of the petals need not be always the same. ठीक है? One can show different type of aestivation while its own petals can show a different type. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट बनेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि जब हम फैमिलीज के बारे में स्टडी करेंगे तो आप देखोगे एस्टिवेशन ऑफ सेपल्स इज डिफरेंट एंड एस्टिवेशन ऑफ पेटल्स इज डिफरेंट इन केस ऑफ सर्टेन ग्रुप ऑफ फैमिलीज. ओके, सो व्हाट इज दिस एस्टिवेशन एंड व्हाट आर इट्स टाइप्स? द फर्स्ट टाइप ऑफ एस्टिवेशन इज गोइंग टू बी कॉल्ड एज valvate type of estivation. Valvate. ठीक है? इसमें जो है, what is the speciality of this valvate type? I'm just drawing the diagrams right now, and I'm going to speak about that, but I'm not writing the literature in general. You have got it with you. See about this valvate estivation. Here, if you see this particular diagram, you can see that let it be a sepal or a petal. right? They are just going to touch each other but not overlap. They are just very close to each other. You can see a small gap that I have, specifically marked. Yeah. So whenever the sepals or the petals are going to be arranged in such a fashion that they are just going to be very close to each other but they do not overlap, such type of estivation is called as your valvate estivation. Okay? The second one is going to be called as your twisted estivation. Now when I am saying twisted, just look at the diagram that I am doing, okay? First petal, second, third, fourth, right? Can you see this? Sorry, this would come inside. Okay, so what has happened? One of the petals are successively overlapping each other. तो ये अगर ऐसे है ना? ये अगर ऐसे है तो इसको देखो, ये एक one side of my hand is being hidden by the other hand, right? Correct? So ये part imagine कर लो कि ये मेरा part closed है, तो second petal जो है वो इधर, third petal इधर रहेगा. So at one position it is coming out, at another position it is getting enclosed. That is the way the twisted estivation is showing. This part is out, its counterpart is in, out, in, out, in. Exactly in a very typical format they are twisting. And thus this type of estivation is going to be called as your twisted estivation. ठीक है? ये दो भी सिंपल थे समझने के लिए. अब आगे जो है इसको हम कहते हैं थर्ड वन. It's called as your imbricate estivation. Now what is the difference between twisted and imbricate? ठीक है? अब मैं एक पेटल को थोड़ा मोटा करूँ, बोल्ड करूँ ताकि आपको उसकी स्पेशलिटी समझ में आ जाए. Okay? How is it? How is it? This one is the only one which is going to be inner from both the ends. So this type wherein rest of them are, see, this is out and in, out and in, out and in, out and out, and this is in and in. Okay, so this particular type wherein one of the petals is going to be completely enclosed from both the sides is going to be coming under your imbricate. Some people call this as your ascending imbricate. I'll be telling you why later on. This sometimes is also referred to as ascending imbricate. ठीक है? Got it? And the last to come, that is going to be called as your fourth and the last one, that is going to be called as vexillary estivation. ठीक है? ये जो vexillary estivation है, इसकी एक जो डायग्राम है, ये बहुत स्पेसिफिक है, बहुत टिपिकल है. This is going to be your typical structure of vexillary. Now, if you see, ये मैंने दो अलग बनाए हैं. I have not touched them, so these are the two different petals or sepals, right? These are innermost two. Again, they are not joined together. But if you see over here, this one is going to be called as the largest sepal or largest petal. ये अपना एक अकेला है. It's only one. So, if you see the total number of petals or sepals will be again 5. One largest, two are going to be inside that, and two would be the innermost. The one which is largest is going to be called as your standard. ठीक है? इसको जनरली हम कहते हैं standard, या फिर इसका दूसरा नाम है vexillum. Fine. The two inners, ये जो दो अंदर वाले हैं, this one and its counterpart, these two are going to be called as wings, or they are called as scales. And the innermost, which are the smallest, these two are going to be called as keel, या फिर it is called as करीब. Easy है नाम याद रखने के लिए, है ना? Yes, kindly do not forget this Karina over here. It's not K, it's C, and the spelling is definitely different. Okay, but yeah, easy to remember. Fine. This type of estivation is going to be called as your vexillary estivation. Please remember, my dears, कि ये जो सबसे बड़ा वाला petal है या sepal है, ये सबको embed करता है. It embeds all the different innermost petals या sepals inside. Right? This इसके ऊपर बहुत बार क्वेश्चंस आए हैं आपकी नीट में, मतलब आपकी AIPMP में ये डायग्राम दिया जाता है एंड दे जस्ट पुट अ लेबल एज ABC एंड दे आस्क यू टू फिल अप द करेक्ट लेबल्स. ओके, सो काइंडली remember these three words, more than enough. And one more thing that is very specific with this vexillary estivation is generally this is shown by which family, are you all aware? Which one? P. And yeah, मेंडल के सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स में P ये बहुत कॉमन वर्ड है, इसीलिए इसका या एग्जैक्टली. तो many a times that is the reason कि यहाँ पर they'll ask you questions on vexillary estivation. Yes, okay, it is a typical boat shaped structure, very true. इसको boat shaped structure भी कहा जाता है. So this is about your estivation. Because it was in accordance with calyx and corolla, we have studied the estivation now. Is it fine? All of you all are okay with this? Okay. इसके आगे, the next part that we are going to talk about is going to be specifically about the androecium. If you understand this androecium part very nicely, you're going to save at least 15-20 minutes, half an hour of your 12th standard का first chapter that we'll be doing. That is sexual reproduction in angiosperms. ये base है जो मैं आज पढ़ाने वाली हूँ. Fine? Now I come to something called as androecium. The individual members are going to be called as stamen. The structure of the stamen is very typical. Right? This part is of course the anther. And this is going to be the filament. But along with these two, the one which is hidden or inconspicuous structure, which is generally not visible, but it is present as an extension of the filament into the anther, that is called as the connective. ठीक है? तो ये जो connective होता है ना बच्चा, this connective is going to be actually your sterile tissue. It is going to be your sterile tissue. And if you see these two, I have drawn two lobes. These two lobes are nothing but these two lobes are going to be called as your anther lobes. अब ये जो है ये दो anther lobes है, इसलिए हम इसको bilobed structure भी कहते हैं. It's easy to know that it is a bilobe structure. अब now let's just look at my hand. Okay. If this is first lobe, this is the second lobe. These two lobes are going to be joined together to look like your bilobe structure. And by these, areas, consider it to be the filament. Now these two lobes are connected with each other with the help of sterile connective. ठीक है? तो can that connective be visible to us normally? No, but it is present. It is an extension of what? The filaments. ठीक है? तो कभी भी अगर connective पूछते हैं तो आप connective और filament में confuse ना होना बच्चा. ठीक है ना? So there is something called as connective that would be present. Okay. Now, generally, most of the angiosperms are showing a typical structure of tetrasporangiate. What do you mean by this word called as tetrasporangiate? Tetra का मतलब you all know that is nothing but the four, and here I am writing sporangiate. That is, in each lobe you would be having two pollen sacs. or you can even call them as your microsporangium. One would be called as microsporangium or a pollen sac. Many four together would be called as microsporangia. So ये चार होते हैं दो लोब्स में, इसीलिए इनको हम टेट्रास्पोरेंजिएट करके कहते हैं. Okay? In this microsporangiates, what is going to be present? There would be something called as pollen grains that would be present. Okay? So these red color के structures जो मैंने draw किए हैं उसके अंदर, that is nothing but those are your pollen grains. ठीक? Got it? Okay. Now this particular structure in detail about what is the anther consisting of. It has got generally four walls. The four walls of anther are nothing but epidermis, endothecium, middle layer, tapetum, and internally you'll be having these sacs. Sexual reproduction and angiosperms. Of course, I'll be covering all those things very much in detail. ठीक है? Right now morphology है तो बस इतना more than enough. But what are the things that are very very specific about these androecium? Then there is something called as two types of stamens that would be present. The stamen can either be free or they can be united. If the stamens are free, then they are going to be called as polyandrous, and now this united are not considered as gamo, but they are going to be called as synandrous. Okay? Polyandrous and synandrous. अब polyandrous तो बिल्कुल simple है बच्चा. All the stamens are completely free from each other. That is your polyandrous condition. But when I talk about synandrous condition, there is something more that I need to explain. When I say synandrous, I'm going to talk about two conditions. The first condition is going to be called as Adelphi, and the second condition is going to be called as syngenesis. Okay? अब ये क्या है? देखो, in case of Adelphi, the condition is the filaments are fused and the anther is free. Filaments are fused and the anther is free. On the other hand, with this condition, the filaments are fused and the filaments are free and the anther are fused. Okay? This is the basic difference about these two conditions. In case of Adelphi, what are the different types of Adelphis that they would be? There is something called as monadelphi. You have got diadelphi, and you have got something called as polyadelphi. Okay? Monoadelphi. Generally, ये क्या होता है? Just they form a tube-like structure held together. All these filaments are going to come together to form a tube-like structure. In case of monoadelphi, what is the beauty of this tube-like structure is they are going to form a tube around the carpel. तो जो मैंने यहाँ पर बेटा डायग्राम ड्रॉ किया था, ये यूं इस तरह से मैंने एक डायग्राम ड्रॉ किया था, आपको याद है तो कार्पेल का. तो इन केस ऑफ मोनोएडल्फी क्या हो जाता है? There would be such type of tube-like structures that would be formed by that such type of a tube-like structure that would be formed around whom? Around the stigma. Okay? So ये एक पूरा group है जिसके filaments पूरे इस तरह से fused है. Okay? So this is going to be your example of monoadelphi. Only one tube. This entire tube is like this way, कवरिंग के जैसे, जैसे पेन और रिफिल होती है, रिफिल सेंटर में होती है और पूरा प्लास्टिक का पेन उसको कवर कर लेता है. सिमिलर लाइक समथिंग लाइक दैट ओनली. ओके, तो ये जो ट्यूब बनती है इस स्टिग्मा के ऊपर, अदर ये कार्पेल के ऊपर एक कवरिंग के जैसी ट्यूब बनती है और उस ट्यूब के साथ बाजू से एक्सटेंशंस निकलते हैं. और ये जो एक्सटेंशंस है दैट इज नथिंग बट योर anchors. Okay, so here all the filaments are going to be fused to the one original point. One tube, monoadelphi. Fine. Next one is diadelphous condition. Again, in case of diadelphous, di matlab two, you all know this. So what happens? Generally, most of them would form a group like this way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay. Now these anthers are free from each other, but the tubes are going to be, the filaments at the base forming a tube-like structure is going to be together. तो ये generally 9 है और ये अकेला है. That is nothing but your seen in your मेंडल में आपने diadelphous है करके सुना होगा. That why did Mendel choose pea plant as its best plant for study? उसमें 7 reasons है, 7 या 8 reasons है. उसमें से one of the reason is because it is diadelphous. It's easy for emasculation. You might have read about that. So what happens is you just chop out these things together and one alone, and in 2 go the plant becomes female plant. Or rather the flower becomes female flower, right? That is the reason that it was selected, and such type of a condition forming 2 groups is going to be called as your diadelphy, right? When I talk about polyadelphy, there would be many tube-like structures held together, and in each tube-like structure there would be many stamens placed together. So they appear something like this way in polyadelphy, okay? They appear something like this way. Each one is going to have the filaments that would be fused to form these structures, and each of the apices would be free. So these apices are free, okay? They are not fused. So this is going to be your polyadelphous condition, right? So this is one of the very important questions of Androecium that you should know. This is called as your male reproductive whorl. This is the 3rd whorl. It gives rise to the male gametes. How and why? आगे देखना ही है. Fine. So this is about your 3 adelphes, and the next that I'm talking about your syngenesis. That is here the anthers would be fused and the filaments would be free. So here it seems or it appears something like this way. Okay. They appear like this way in a group. Something like this way, and see the filaments are free at the bottom. Okay, so here what is this? This is your anther and this is your filament. Such a condition. ठीक है ना? But बेटा ये दोनों conditions मतलब adelphy plus syngenesis together is going to be coming under your synandrous condition, that is fused. Got this? Understood about this very nicely. So this is about the adelphy and the syngenesis, but it also follows something else. ये जो है, ये जो phenomena अभी मैंने explain किया है, इस phenomena को हम cohesion करके भी कहते हैं. We also call this as cohesion. What do you mean by this word cohesion? There is something called as adhesion and cohesion. Cohesion is nothing but it is the attraction between the 2 same members. That is, एक एंथर दूसरे एंथर के साथ ही फ्यूज हो रहा है. एंथर किसी और के साथ फ्यूज नहीं हुआ. इसीलिए it is going to be called as an association. Which association? It will be called as cohesion association. Right? There is now something called as adhesion. जैसे मैंने कहा कि cohesion मतलब one of the anther getting attracted to the second one. One of the anther getting attracted to the second one. That is cohesion. In the same way, there are next three conditions of adhesion that I'll be putting down now. Okay, so I'll now talk about the adhesion. Adhesion is going to be the attraction between two dissimilar members of the flower. इसका हो जाएगा सिमिलर मेंबर्स, इसका हो गया डिसिमिलर मेंबर्स. ठीक है ना? अब यहाँ पर क्या होता है देखो. फर्स्ट दैट आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक इज अबाउट epipetalous condition. Epipetalous, that means here there would be a fusion of whom and whom? The fusion of course petalous लिखा है तो petal आ गया. और किसकी बात हो रही है यहाँ पर? We are talking about the stamen. So here there would be a fusion between whom? Fusion of the stamen with petal. When there is a fusion between two, now these are two dissimilar ones. Stamen is dissimilar with respect to the petals and vice versa. Therefore, this particular condition would be called as your epipetalous condition. ठीक है? Second word is epiphyllous. Okay? Again, this is also fusion. This is a fusion between stamen तो है ही common, है ना? Stamen with something called as perianth. When it fuses with the perianth, then that condition would be called as your epiphyllous condition. ठीक है? And the last, that is called as Gynandrous condition. Yes, as the name says, this would be a fusion between stamen and carpel. Okay? ये भी हो जाता है किसी फ्लावर्स में. ऐसे कंडीशन को हम कहते हैं Gynandrous condition. Right? So these three words are important. Might be they might ask something on this. But understand that all these three conditions are coming with respect to adhesion. So question might be asked that epipetalous, epiphyllous and Gynandrous are examples of, and options can be cohesion, adhesion, syngenesis, whatever they want to give. Right? So you should know that these three are coming under adhesion and these are coming under cohesion. I've written it under cohesion. Is this like base very clear to all of you all? No confusion? Clear? Okay. Now the one more important part that remains over here are two terminologies again. You might have heard of it, I'm not sure, but just pay attention to what I'm saying now. Now, there is a condition called as dynamous anther, and there is second condition called as tetradynamous anther. अच्छा? तो ये एक है डाइडाइनेमस, एक है टेट्राडाइनेमस। अब ये क्वेश्चन बहुत बार आ चुका है, many a times they have asked, and the reason for asking is the names are very misleading. Okay, generally di का मतलब होता है 2, but this is 4, and tetra का मतलब होता है 4, but this is 6. So how is that? Okay, see, whenever on this thalamus that I always first draw, there would be 2 which would be of the same height, which are lying at the center, and there would be 2 which are lying at the periphery, which are taller. ठीक है, तो ये जो कंडीशन है, टोटल 4 की कंडीशन है बेटा, बट 2 आर ऑफ सेम साइज एंड 2 आर ऑफ सेम साइज. Such a condition is going to be called as your didynamous condition. And it's always seen that in didynamous condition, the ones which are towards the periphery are always taller. उनकी height बड़ी होती है. The ones which are going to be at the interior side would be shorter ones. So this is your didynamous condition. Please remember, नाम पे मत जाइए बेटा. These are the 4 stamens, of which 2 peripheral are long, 2 peripheral are long, and 2 inner are short. ठीक है? Now when I talk about this didynamous condition, that time there would be 4 inners which are going to be somewhat of the same height, and the 2 towards the periphery are going to be the tall. Okay, so they are 6 in number. Of this 6 stamens, of this 6 stamens, 2 peripheral are tall and 4 inners, they are short. ठीक है, तो ये 2 नए टर्म्स हैं जो पढ़े होंगे तो अच्छी बात है, नहीं पढ़े हैं तो प्लीज याद रखिए. राइट, so this is the base of your androecium, or the third wall, or the male reproductive wall, basically. Fine, let's move. There is nothing called as modifications or something like that with respect to androecium. Okay, so let's move to the next part. That is nothing but the gynoecium. Anybody is having a doubt in androecium? जितना आज पढ़ाया है इसमें किसी में किसी को डाउट है बेटा? So that I can go to the next part. Anybody? Are you all following? Are you all understanding? The terminologies are important in morphology. Okay? ठीक है? Let's move ahead with gynoecium. These are the ones which are going to produce the ovules, which after fertilization get converted into something called as seeds. ठीक है, अब जब मैं sexual repro की बात करूँगी in case of angiosperms, that time how many mitotic divisions would lead to what type of a structure, how are meiosis going to help in the formation of functional megaspore, what is functional megaspore, इसके अंदर का डिटेलिंग तब हो जाएगा. बट फिलहाल आप बस इसका एक्सटर्नल मॉर्फोलॉजी समझ लीजिए. फाइन, यहाँ पर if the carpel is free, it is going to be called as apocarpus. ये apo वर्ड फर्स्ट टाइम आ रहा है. हमने अब तक जो देखे हैं वो अलग टर्मिनोलॉजीज देखे हैं, लेकिन एपो इज द फर्स्ट टाइम दैट इज कमिंग. प्लीज रिमेंबर फॉर गाइनोशियम वी यूज द वर्ड एपोकार्पस. ठीक है. एंड इफ इट इज फ्यूज्ड then it is going to be called as syncarpus. Okay, apocarpus and syncarpus. If you look at the structure of this gynoecium, or rather the carpel, you can see the thalamus, that is going to be the base of this. Then there is a specific structure like this at the center that generally I make it thick. Along with this, you have got such type of ovules. Okay. This particular part, of course, is going to be called as the stigma, style, ovary, placenta, and the ovules. Now this placenta is going to play a very important role because this is the tissue that is going to nourish. This is the tissue that is going to provide energy, nourishment, nutrients, whatever is going to be required by this particular ovule. तो ओव्यूल को डेवलप होने के लिए जो भी नरिशमेंट प्रोवाइड करने वाला टिश्यू है ये है प्लेसेंटा. प्लीज आप एंडोस्पर्म, प्लेसेंटा, न्यूसेलस ये वर्ड्स में कंफ्यूज मत होइए. ओके, आई टेल यू द रीजन व्हाई. एज आई सेड, प्लेसेंटा इज गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड नरिशमेंट टू द ओव्यूल. Ovule would contain a group of cell called as nucellus, which is providing nourishment to the embryo sac. And after fertilization, whatever the endosperm has been formed would be providing nourishment to the developing embryo. तो ये हमेशा तीनों में कंफ्यूजन की वजह से क्वेश्चंस आते रहते हैं बेटा. ठीक है ना. तो प्लेसेंटा किसको देता है नरिशमेंट? डेवलपिंग ओव्यूल को. न्यूसेलस जो ओव्यूल का बना हुआ है, ओव्यूल के अंदर क्या है? पूरा का पूरा जो है that is nothing else but nucellus. So the nucellus provides nourishment to the embryo sac, and endosperm is going to provide nourishment to the developing embryo. ये तीनों concepts बहुत clear होने चाहिए आपके. बहुत basic है लेकिन बहुत बार questions आए हैं इसके ऊपर. ठीक है. तो ये जो प्लेसेंटल टिश्यू है इसके साथ अगर आप देखते हो तो अटैच्ड है ओव्यूल विद अ टिपिकल फिलामेंट जैसे मैंने ड्रॉ की है. दैट इज नथिंग बट दैट इज योर फ्यूनिकल और इट इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज फिन्यूक्यूलस. ठीक है. तो थ्रू दैट पर्टिकुलर फ्यूनिकल द नरिशमेंट इज गोइंग टू एंटर इनटू द ओव्यूल जस्ट लाइक अ पाइपलाइन. With respect to this particular gynoecium and this typical structure, there is something called as, depending on the position of this carpel, you have got something called as your gynes that would come now. The three gynes that you should know is going to be hypogyny, perigyny and epigyny. है ना. तो ये किसके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है? These are dependent on the position of the, yes, that is going to be your this particular structure. Okay, so let us understand these three. How are they oriented and how do they appear? एक फ्लावर को हम हाइपोगाइनस कहते हैं. अब बच्चा यहाँ पर है ना थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन होता है बच्चों का. यहाँ पर थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन यूं है कि हाइपो का मतलब है लो, एपी का मतलब है अबव. बट माय डियर्स ये जो हाइपोगाइनी है इसमें गाइनोशियम लो नहीं है. गाइनोशियम के बाजू के जो वर्ल्स हैं वो सारे के सारे उसके नीचे है, एंड देयरफॉर इट इज कॉल्ड एज हाइपो. ठीक है. सो गाइनोशियम इज गोइंग टू बी एट द अपर मोस्ट पोजीशन, which is going to be called as superior. We use the word superior. So this particular one is a simple one to draw. This is the type of a thalamus that I'm drawing since the beginning of this class, wherein I'm drawing this particular structure in the uppermost zone. ठीक है. And rest of the walls का मतलब क्या हो गया बेटा? I'm talking about something called as androecium, right? I'm talking with respect to the petals, that is the corolla, and here would be the sepals. ठीक है. तो अपर मोस्ट पोजिशन ये जो है, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी कॉल्ड एज योर सुपीरियर, बिकॉज द गाइनोशियम इज गोइंग टू बी द वन विच वुड सप्रेस और विच वुड बी एट द अपर मोस्ट पोजिशन. बाकी जो सारे वर्ड्स है उसके नीचे है, लोअर है, इसलिए इसको हाइपोगाइनी कहते हैं. अब यहाँ पर बच्चों का कंफ्यूजन ये हो जाता है माय डियर्स, हाइपो मतलब लो, गाइनी मतलब गाइनोशियम. It's exactly the opposite, okay? That's your hypogynous. When I say second word, that is perigyny. ठीक है? Peri का मतलब है at par. When the androecium and the gynoecium are going to be at par, on the same level, maybe plus minus थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे चलता है ना? लेकिन इसकी स्पेशलिटी क्या है बताए बेटा? यहाँ पर जो थैलेमस है, ये थैलेमस बनता है कप शेप स्ट्रक्चर. This is a very peculiar structure. You should know this. That why is it called as perigyny? The reason is the cup shaped structure will hold the gynoecium, and its rim will have the rest of the walls. So it appears something like this way, wherein this is a typical cup-like structure that is formed, and this cup-like structure will hold the gynoecium. ये जो है ये थैलेमस ही है बच्चा, ठीक है ना? ये थैलेमस ही है, और ये जो cup-like structure है, इसके रिम से, इस जोन से निकल आए हैं, थोड़े ऊपर हो सकते हैं, no issues, right? यहाँ पे है पेटल्स, इस एरिया से बनते हैं पेटल्स, और यहाँ पर है सेपल्स. तो ये जो कंडीशन है इसको हम पेरिगाइनस कंडीशन कहते हैं. अब ये जो कप लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है ये आइदर इतना डीप हो सकता है या फिर इट कैन बी समथिंग जस्ट लाइक दिस. ठीक है. Even in this condition, what would happen? This is going to be the same position, but here now I am showing a little bit of variation. यही point तो यही है ना? यहाँ से मैं दिखा रही हूँ जहाँ से मैं ये जो स्टेमन है ये थोड़े मैं नीचे की तरफ झुका रही हूँ. They are below. Okay, these are going to be your petals typically, originating from the same zone, and from this area only there would be the. So even both these conditions, okay, let it be a bit superior like this or let it be a bit inferior like this, when the thalamus has got converted into this cup like structure, typically इसको हम perigynous condition कहते हैं. Okay, something like this. But here if you see it's quite low, it's below even the style. Alright? तो जब स्टाइल के करीब है, मतलब जस्ट ये ओवरी के ऊपर है, जब इतने लो स्टेमन हो जाते हैं, then it would be called as your hypogynous. ठीक? And the last but very important one, that is called as your epigyny. एपिगाइनस कंडीशन और एपिगाइनी, इसमें क्या मतलब एक मॉडिफिकेशन हो जाता है दैट द एंटायर थैलेमस फ्यूजेस विद द ओवरी। ये जो है ये थैलेमस पूरा ओवरी के साथ फ्यूज कर लिया बेटा। देखिए ये थैलेमस जो कप शेप था अब पूरा फ्यूज कर लिया। किसके साथ फ्यूज किया ये? इट हैज फ्यूज्ड विद द completely fused. Okay, so here there would be your ovule something like this way. Okay, and at this particular junction, ये जो point है, at this particular junction there would be the formation of something like this, something like this, and something like this. Okay, so if you see over here, the thalamus has formed a complete covering over this red color का मैंने जो structure बनाया है, that is going to be your ovary. Such type of a condition is going to be called as your epigyne. So it is not only the position of the gynoecium but also the shape of the thalamus that is going to matter the most. That is going to actually define a particular category. Got it? So these are very important from your understanding point of view. Please do not get confused with these two conditions. Both are perigynous. Fine? Okay. As far as this particular topic is concerned, the next point that is going to play a very vital role with respect to marks is going to be called as placentation. Okay? Placenta करके मैंने अभी आपको एक टिश्यू के बारे में बताया है ना। So जब मैं placentation ये word use कर रही हूँ, that means it's going to be something with respect to the position of the ovules in a typical TS of that particular flower. Okay, I hope you all know what is TS and VS. So right now I'm talking about the TS and I'm talking about placentation. That is going to be the arrangement of ovules over the placenta. अब यहाँ पर हम जब TS लेते हैं तो हमें कुछ typical structures दिखाई देते हैं, but first placentation की जब हम बात करेंगे बेटा, we will not talk about the TS but we will talk about the VS. Longitudinal cut, vertical section. Transverse cut, transverse section. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले जो मैं बात कर रही हूँ, I am going to talk about something called as VS because the first type of placentation जो हमें करना है उसका नाम है marginal placentation. As the name says, marginal. And if I draw this particular diagram, आपको ये बात clear समझ में आ जाएगी what I'm trying to tell you. The only thing over here is जो placental tissue है उसको मैं black में thick कर रही हूँ, तो आपको ना मेरी बात समझ में ज़्यादा clear आ जाएगी. So this is going to be called as your placenta. And these are going to be your ovules. ठीक है, अब ये जो है ये जो मैंने डायग्राम ड्रॉ किया है उसको हम जनरली कहते हैं यूनिलोक्यूलर. यूनिलोक्यूलर का मतलब ये है it has got only one chamber and all these ovules would be present in the same chamber. Looking at the diagram, I'm sure आपको example भी पता चला ही होगा. I'm talking about, for example, the pea or the beans or something like that way, right? So in this, if you have ever tried to, help your mamas to open the pod of the green pea, you might have seen that these are going to be present on a common thick whitish color का एक patch दिखता है, marginally long वाला, और उस एरिया से कभी भी वो पॉड ब्रेक नहीं होता है. इट विल ओनली ब्रेक ओपन फ्रॉम द अदर साइड, जहां पर प्लेसेंटल टिश्यू नहीं है, राइट? एट दैट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट, एट दैट पर्टिकुलर जंक्शन, देयर वुड बी द प्रेजेंस ऑफ दीज मेनी डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ओव्यूल्स. ओके, अब ये जो ओव्यूल्स है ये प्लेसेंटा से कहाँ पर अटैच्ड है? तो इसके मार्जिन में अटैच्ड है. Therefore, such type of placentation is going to be called as marginal placentation. Simple? Okay. इसके बाद आता है next one, that is going to be called as your axial placentation. In case of axial placentation, generally we say tricarpellary syncarpus. Tricarpellary syncarpus type. ट्राई का मतलब है तीन, तो यहाँ पर कितने कार्पल्स इन्वॉल्व है? 3 कार्पल्स आर इन्वॉल्व, एंड इट इज गोइंग टू बी व्हाट टाइप? syncarpus, फ्यूज्ड है. और ये जो तीनों का फ्यूजन है, that leads to something called as a 3-chambered TS. अब यहाँ पर मैं TS की बात कर रही हूँ. So it appears something like this, wherein there are such type of 3 chambers that are formed. Why are these 3 chambers formed? They are formed due to tricarpellary syncarpus. Just now I said syncarpus का मतलब क्या है? Fuse. Correct है? So what is happening over here? Here you can see the ovules that would be present generally in doubles at the center. जनरली कुछ ऐसे आपको देखने को मिलता है. और यहाँ पर देखो मैं कौन से जोन को ब्लैक कर रही हूँ. So the black part is going to be the placenta. These red colors, small structures are nothing but the ovules. And ये जो compartments बने हैं, ये जो chambers बने हैं, ये chambers को हम कहते हैं locules. तो ये जो था ये यूनिलोक्यूलर था, करेक्ट? ये कितने लॉक्यूल्स हैं? 3 लॉक्यूल्स. So we can call it as trilocular. In the same way, instead of I have to draw pentalocular, I can draw pentalocular as well. Now you understood what I'm trying to tell you? I say pentalocular मतलब there would be 5 and there would be pentalocular है मतलब syncarpus condition है ही. तो अगर पेंटालोक्यूलर का हमें डायग्राम ड्रॉ करना है तो इट विल अपीयर समथिंग लाइक दिस, व्हिच विल हैव 1 2 3 4, कितने हो गए? 6 1 2 3 4 5. And each one would be having suppose something like this. And I'm going to show the placenta in this particular format. तो देखो बच्चा, अगर आप एक ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हो ना मेरी बात को, in each and every diagram, the ones that I've shown in black, always the ovules are continuously attached to the placenta, because that is the reason that they are there for. nourishment जो मिल रही है वो उधर से ही मिल रही है. growth के लिए जो whatever is required is going to be through this zone only, and therefore they are always going to be attached to the placenta. Now here always I am showing 2 ovules. ठीक है? तो ऐसी कुछ जरूरत नहीं कि हमेशा 2 रहेंगे, कभी कभी एक भी रह सकता है, राइट? ये जो है ये जनरली आपने लेमन में देखा होगा. जब आप लेमन को कट करते हो, नींबू को कट करते हो, तो आपने ये टिपिकल देखे होंगे टाइप्स, है ना? यस. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी योर axial placentation. The third one.
Ma'am.
Yes, dear.
Ma'am, you mentioned axial classification is in tricapillary and syncapillary carpus, right?
Yes, it can be in tricarpillary, it can be pentacarpillary, it can be many. It's not always tri. I'm just showing the diagrams in the different format. If it is forming three locules, that means it is because of the three carpels. ये कहाँ पर मिलता है? Triloculary. Yes, right. But that would be more pronounced in your parietal as well, even in your cucumber. है ना? Yeah. So this is one condition of exile. It's not necessarily always 5 because ट्राइकार्पिलरी का या ट्राइलोक्युलर कंडीशन का डायग्राम उन्होंने 2011 में दिया था बेटा. आपके टेक्स्ट बुक में एनसीईआरटी में या जीटीबी में दे ऑलवेज गिव यू पेंटालोक्युलर, बट इवन ट्राइलोक्युलर इज गिवन. यस, हु इज दिस?
अपोला सेंटर.
बोलो बच्चा.
एनसीईआरटी में एक स्टेटमेंट है.
हाँ.
कि in marginal placentation the placenta forms a ridge along the ventral structure of the ovary and the ovules are born on this ridge forming two rows as in P.
Yes, two rows. बेटा अगर आप इस spot को अगर आप open करते हो ना, look at my hand. If you have ever tried to open this spot, ठीक है, ये जो है यहाँ से आपने उसको खोल दिया, तो ये प्लेसेंटा हो गया, है ना? तो टू रोज का मतलब है इट इज ऑल्टरनेटिंग. अगर यहाँ पर एक पी है तो उसके ऑल्टरनेट एरिया में दूसरा पी रहेगा. इट्स ऑलवेज इन द क्रिस क्रॉस वे. ओके, आई विल शो यू इन द डायग्रामेटिक फॉर्म हाउ इट विल लुक. इट लुक समथिंग लाइक दिस वे. ये आपने ओपन कर दिया है ना बेटा इसको, तो ये जो है, ये जो प्लेसेंटा है, इसके एक यहाँ पर, एक यहाँ पर. जनरली लाइक दिस. And what do you mean? Yeah, 1 minute. What do you mean by suture? Suture का मतलब है, what is this? A suture? That is, जब आप कुछ भी दो पार्ट को ज्वाइन करते हो तो उसको हम suture कहेंगे. तो ये suture हो गया जहाँ पर प्लेसेंटा प्रेजेंट है और ये ऑल्टरनेट में टू रोज में आपको पीस मिलते हैं. Understood the meaning, Akola? Clear? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Someone else was asking me something. Which centimeter? हाँ बोलो. या टेल मी. हाँ yes, pentalocular. Yes, it is pentalocular. Very correct. Axial placentation, pentalocular, and in each and every locule you can see how many ovules. You must have seen that in your TS. Practicals में आपने किया होगा. Hibiscus का किया होगा आपने, shoe flower का. Axial placentation कितने ovules है, single है या double है? हाँ, that is the reason I am drawing the diagram also accordingly. ठीक है? You know भिंडी? भिंडी खाते हो? Pentas. हाँ, obviously. Okay, all these are your regular examples. इसलिए मैं examples देना prefer करती हूँ. आपके दिमाग में वो directly example आ जाता है ना, it becomes easy to understand. ठीक है? Okay. So that is your axial placentation and marginal placentation. The next that we want to talk about is going to be called as parietal placentation. Now what is this parietal placentation? Parietal placentation is generally going to be your unilocular and therefore they do not form any chambers or locules. But they might form something called as repulum, that is a false septum. ये जो है ना, ये जो चीज पूरी इधर तक एंड तक आई है, इसको अगर मैं कहती हूँ I call this as your septum. And when I say false septum is going to be your halfway. ऐसे लगता है कि अंदर की तरफ आ रहा है, लेकिन वो पूरा सेंटर में नहीं आता है. ऐसे वाली कंडीशन. I'll give you examples. The thing would be more easy. मैं local examples बता रही हूँ जो आपने और हमने सबने देखे और हम खाते हैं, right? So that makes the things very very easy. So what is happening over here with this parietal? If you look at this particular diagram, मैं पूरा ब्लैक नहीं कर रही हूँ, बट आपको पता है कि ब्लैक कलर किसका है? here, this is going to be your placenta. The placenta is towards the periphery, and therefore the ovules would be attached towards the peripheral zone. ठीक है? कैप्सिकम देखिए बच्चा, कैप्सिकम कभी आपने टीएस अगर कैप्सिकम का लिया है, सैंडविच खाते हो तो आपको कैप्सिकम क्या है पता है? तो वो जो कैप्सिकम होती है उसके सेंटर में भी एक वाइटिश कलर का कभी कभी मास आपको मिलेगा, बट जनरली इट इज गोइंग टू बी कंप्लीटली क्या कहते हैं, बिल्कुल कुछ भी नहीं है उसके, मतलब एक फॉल्स वाइटिश कलर का एक सेप्टम के जैसे दिखता है, जो फॉल्स सेप्टम है जिसको हम रेप्लम कहते हैं. Okay, it's also seen in your Brassicaceae family, that is even in your mustards. But mustard को दिखाने के लिए, I mean, आपने देखा है तो अच्छी बात है, मैंने खुद ने अब तक नहीं देखी है. Mustard as a food मैं use करती हूँ, लेकिन logically I have not seen. But yeah, I can give you the example of this capsicum, no doubt. Right? Yes. So basically, you see at that particular, it's going to be towards the periphery. And therefore the seeds are towards the periphery. It becomes very easy to clean the capsicum.
False
Yeah?
septum is called what?
Replum. False septum is going to be called as replum. Okay, I'll just write down over here. Generally parietal placentation में आपको मिलता है false septum. And this false septum is going to be called as replum. Yes, dear. Yes, of course. You're going to see over here also. So this is the speciality of your parietal placentation. तो ये जो तीन है, ये तीनों में अगर आप देखते हो तो ये तो पूरा का पूरा प्लेसेंटा से पूरा एक टिश्यू आपको दिखाई देता है. ये जो है ये सेंटर में होता है और ये जो है ये पेरिफेरी में होता है. नेक्स्ट विच इज अ बिट like not difficult to understand, but थोड़ा लॉजिक यूज करना पड़ता है उसके लिए. And that is called as free central. This is your free central. अब इसमें कैसा है देखो, the diagram that I am drawing is something like this way, and I am drawing the seeds or rather the ovules at the central position. Okay. Here there is no locule, therefore it is unilocular. ठीक है? And all the seeds, if you see, they are at the center and they appear to be freely suspended. They appear to be freely suspended, but it's not freely suspended. There is a small placental tissue that is going to be present, of course, exactly at the center. ठीक है? बट कैसे दिखता है? दिखने के लिए ना ही कोई सेप्टम है, ना ही कोई रेप्लम है, कुछ भी नहीं है. ऐसे लगता है कि ये जो ओव्यूल्स है दे आर फ्रीली सस्पेंडेड एट द सेंटर. सच टाइप ऑफ प्लेसेंटेशन इज गोइंग टू बी कॉल्ड एज योर फ्री सेंट्रल. ओके, ये रेगुलर हमारे रोज के इसमें एग्जाम्पल देने जैसा है नहीं कोई. Not a typical, like I was very much confident that you have seen peas, you have seen lemon or oranges, or you have seen capsicum. इतना जैसे मैं sure हूँ, I'm sure कि ऐसा कोई example daily routine life में है नहीं कि जो we can give it for your free central. But the next and the best, that is going to be third है, हाँ ये fourth है. Basal. Basal is one of the most common, most favorite and most easiest to understand. Basal जो है, that is having only a single large ovule, and the tissue or the placental tissue would be at the base, and therefore this type is going to be called as your basal. If you have you all ever forgotten to eat a mango? Okay. So a single ovule, of course, something like this is the diagram, wherein here is your ovule that was going to be formed, and this is the part generally that is going to be having, I'm sorry, it should be with black, which would be having something like this. Okay, this particular tissue is going to be at the base, and therefore is going to be the basal single large ovule. Okay, so this is about your placentations. Frequent questions, one of the common topics. As I said, even when I was taking the lecture on phyllotaxy, मैंने आपको बताया था phyllotaxy is important. Then I have talked about aestivation, and now I am talking about placentation along with hypogyny, epigyny, perigyny. These parts बेटा morphology में ये parts पे थोड़ा concentrate करना है ना. अगर ये जो पार्ट्स आज मैं डिस्कस कर रही हूँ ये थोड़े मतलब मे बी वन ऑफ द चांस ऑफ they generally prefer to ask questions on these topics, and generally they might give you these diagrams on one side, and they might give you the names of these placentation in other side, and they might ask you match the following, or they might give you the pairs. एक incorrectly matched pair हो सकता है. They might ask you select the incorrectly matched pair or select the correctly matched pair or something like that. तो ये बहुत simple है, easy है. बस एक थोड़ा सा brush up revision चाहिए. जो आज हो गया वो काफी है ना? Okay. So this is about your gynoecium in general and the placentation. Anybody having a typical doubt or something like that पे? हाँ, superficial जो है, it is going to have something called as the ovules would be attached to the side of the locules. Okay, that is, it appears something like this way. He is asking about superficial. I'll just show how the superficial looks. In the superficial type, what happens is, this is going to be the typical superficial का TS, ऐसे दिखता है. It's going to have something called as such type of locules. Basically, ये अंदर की तरफ locules बनते हैं. ये polycarpus ovary की वजह से ये locules इतने सारे बने हैं. And here, the ovules would be attached in this form. You understood? So such type is here. Such type alternate होता है. Such type this entire chamber would be full with your ovules. Okay? तो ये जो है इसको हम superficial type कहते हैं. आपके curriculum में तो नहीं है, but ठीक है. It's not given in NCERT as well, but okay. I mean, it's not harm in learning something more and getting the things. Example is Ajmon. Yeah, water lily भी है. Water lily show these type of superficial type of placentation, of course. ठीक है? Got it? So this is all about your gynoecium that we had to complete. So entirely, if you see, we have completed with the flower as well. Okay? Fine? Yes, my dear.
Stipulate.
Okay. Yes. There is something called as presence of stipules. Okay? If the flower is having a stipule, what is stipule? Stipule क्या होता है? Green color का appendage है, which is going to be small and which is going to be protruding out. If there is presence of stipules, it is going to be called as stipulated. And if there is absence of stipule, it would be called as exstipulated. ठीक है? वैसे ही there is something called as epicalyx. Okay? There is something called as epicalyx. What is epicalyx? Below the calyx, there are green color के छोटे पत्तों के जैसे, leaf के जैसे दिखते हैं. तो कभी-कभी ये extra whorl present हो सकता है. Then they will be called as your presence of epicalyx. ठीक है? So epicalyx, stipules, एक्सटिपुलेटेड, स्टिपुलेटेड, ये जो है ये टर्म इसके साथ जाता है। ठीक, और कुछ बचा? हाँ, solitary, solitary is single, alone, one single flower जो clearly distinguished हमें दिखता है उसको हम कहते हैं solitary flower, और जो नहीं दिखता इसलिए उसको ग्रुप बनाना पड़ता है, उस ग्रुप को, उस क्लस्टर को हम कहते हैं inflorescence. या presence of an extra bract. What is a bract? Bract is going to be an additional cushion-like support to the flower, which is going to be at the base. ये base पे ही है. ये bract जो होते हैं, not necessarily it's going to be in a whorl form. They can be either one or two, just acting like a support. बेटा देखो, bract जो है ना, walls के end में, दो walls जहाँ पर meet करती है, वहाँ उस particular angle में अगर आपको कुछ showpiece रखना है, speakers रखने हैं, तो what do? You generally give it an angle. एक bract लगाते हो, है ना? Exactly the same way, अगर flower को extra support की ज़रूरत होती है, then there would be externally below the calyx there would be supports. These supports would be called as bracts. Presence of bracts would be called as bracteate. Absence of bracts would be called as ebracteate. I'll be doing these terms. Yeah, I'll be doing these terms especially when I'll be doing the floral formula. इसमें ये BR, EBR ऐसे सब आएगा, ठीक है? Along with this entire completion of gynoecium, the last part that remains with flower is something called as its symmetry. Okay, so you have got something called as 3 different type of symmetries that we will be learning. In your zoology, you have already done these words, I'm sure. So just in case of plants and in case of flowers, आपको ये समझ में आ जाएगा, जल्दी से ही आ जाएगा, ठीक है? Okay. The 3 types of flowers are depending on the symmetry would be called.
Excuse me.
Yes, beta.
Ma'am, Argemon shows reptilum, right?
Yes, reptilum. Argemon
So
shows
it comes
reptilum.
under perianth.
Yeah, I'm talking about lily, water lily. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when I talk about the 3 types of symmetry, first is, you might have heard about this radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry, है ना? उसी बेस पे बॉटनी में थोड़े टर्म्स अलग हो जाते हैं. एक होगा actinomorphic flower. Okay, actinomorphic flower is nothing but your radial symmetry actually. So what do you mean by that? You can cut the flower in through any plane and it's going to give you a complete perfect 2 halves. ठीक है? तो किसी भी प्लेन से आप उसको कट कर लो, आपको हमेशा जो मिलेंगे ये 2 इक्वल हाल्स मिलेंगे, ठीक है? सो यहाँ पर क्या हम लिखेंगे एक्टिनोमॉर्फिक फ्लावर के लिए? थ्रू एनी प्लेन यू कैन कट इट. You can cut it through any plane to get 2 equal halves. That's as simple as that. जिसको आप रेडियल सिमेट्री के नाम से ऑलरेडी zoology में पढ़ चुके हो.
क्या हुआ?
राइट? आगे जो है सेकंड जो है उसको हम कहते हैं ज़ाइगोमॉर्फिक फ्लावर. Exactly like your with symmetry, bilateral symmetry. That is, you can always cut through only one plane to get a typical 2 equal half-like structures. Okay? So ये जो cut होता है, this is going to be specifically through one plane only. Such type of a flower would be your zygomorphic flower. And the third and the last, that is going to be your asymmetrical. Asymmetrical नाम से ही पता चल रहा है कि you try to cut in whatever directions, you would never get two equal halves. पूरा दिन गवाओ आप, पूरा time pass, but you will never succeed. So that type of a flower that can never form two equal halves, no equal halves going to be formed, is going to be called as your asymmetrical flower. ठीक है, ये समझ में आ गया. अब जो दो टर्मिनोलॉजीज और इसके साथ ही आपको याद रखनी है, जिसको हम कहते हैं ट्राइमेरिस फ्लावर या फिर भी कॉल इट एज पेंटामेरिस फ्लावर. नेम ट्राइमेरिस का मतलब क्या है? Three petals. But my dears, please remember this as a rule. It is not three. It is in the multiples of three. Okay? I know. 3 alone is also trimeris. But 6, 9, 12, all would be coming under your trimeris. वैसे ही pentameris 5. But 5, 10, 15, pentameris. Got it? So ये जो है, ये भी बहुत बार आपका मिसकंसेप्शन होता है बच्चों का कि ट्राई मतलब सिर्फ 3. हाँ, 3 बेस, I know. But in the multiples of 3 also would be considered as your trimeris. Multiples of 5 would be considered as your pentameris. Is it okay? So kindly remember these two words as well with the flowers. That is trimeris flowers and pentameris. Correct? So basically I think we have covered entirely about the reproductive world, that is the flower entirely, with all the 4 important worlds that were to be discussed, and we had to discuss in detail the gynoecium and the androecium. As far as the function of gynoecium is concerned, yes, I know that you all know it's nothing but it's going to be the production of ovules. The stigma produces a sugary substance that is responsible for the, or it is acting like an imbibe, for the imbibition process to help the pollen grains to develop the pollen tube. But there is one point that I would like to mention, that is this particular structure that I had made initially also. Okay, the style, ये जो style है, इसमें एक typical tissue रहता है बेटा, और इस टिश्यू को हम ट्रांसफ्यूजन टिश्यू के नाम से पहचानते हैं. A question was asked on this, that the tissue which is present in the style of the carpel is called as. ठीक है? So these are going to be the tissues. Basically ये जो है ये internal tissues रहते हैं, जिसको हम ट्रांसफ्यूजन टिश्यू के नाम से जानते हैं. And what is the function of this transfusion tissue? The function of this transfusion tissue is to provide nourishment to the developing pollen tube. ठीक है? तो ये क्वेश्चन बचा आउट ऑफ स्कोप वाला जो होता है ना आपका, which they can ask you, उसमें ये आ सकता है. So the function of this transfusion tissue is basically to provide nourishment to the developing pollen tube. Is it okay?
Ma'am, suppose a flower has 15 petals. Then would it be trimeris or pentameris?
It can either be tri or penta. So it is generally called as your coming under your typical poly. Okay, it is not specifically mentioned as tri or penta, but it can be segregated into any. Because it can be either a group of, but that depends on what? That depends on rest of the characteristics of the plant also, na? Like how they are correlated with each other. नहीं, वो तो हो सकता है. That can be any. That is fine. That is not the criteria. So he's right. It can be tri or penta, but specifically 6, 9 ये जो है ये generally consider किए जाते हैं in tri. Okay, 5, 10, 15 ये generally consider किए जाते हैं in penta. ठीक है? Because only 15 is the number which is divisible by 3 and 5 as well. Yeah, 30 would be too high. So 30 would be too high. Okay. So this is all about the flower that we have to do. The content that is remaining for Thursday to be taken is going to be the last part. I'll be ending this chapter of morphology on Thursday. I've got a lecture from 1:30 to 4:30 on Thursday, and I'll be taking fruits, the different types of fruits, seed, and the families. All these three things that are pending for completion of morphology would be done on Thursday. But before that, my dears, before that, is there any query? Is there any doubt from any of the centers? Have you all clearly followed whatever?
What is brachiate?
Presence of bract would be called as bracteates.
Okay, that.
Yeah, the extra supports. Okay, that would be called as your bracteates. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very good, very good. A very good point is coming over here. Now please understand this, okay? There is a difference between these two words, and these two words are given as options in that question. There is a word called as staminate, and the second word is going to be called as staminode. ठीक है? ये दो वर्ड्स बहुत बार ऑप्शन में दिए जाते हैं क्वेश्चन के साथ. अब इनका डेफिनेशन क्या है देख लो. Staminate का मतलब है the flower will contain only the stamen, and that flower is not a bisexual flower. I hope you all know bisexual and unisexual flower. Bisexual flower or a complete flower or a hermaphrodite flower कहते हैं हम उसको. Hermaphrodite, containing both the sexes. So either a bisexual or hermaphrodite or a complete flower. ठीक है. अब जो यूनिसेक्सुअल फ्लावर्स है ना बेटा, उनमें जब सिर्फ स्टेमन्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं तो उसको हम कहते हैं स्टैमिनेट फ्लावर. सो व्हाट इज स्टैमिनेट? प्रेजेंस ऑफ only stamen, that is unisexual for males. And when the word is staminode, that means it's going to be a sterile flower. The staminode का मतलब है sterile. Sterile का मतलब क्या हुआ बच्चा यहाँ पर? They do not produce any pollen grains, nor they would be producing the male gametes. Such type of stamens are going to be called as your staminodes. Very important point. Thank you बेटा, ये डिस्कस करना ही था मुझे, है ना? तो ये दो वर्ड्स staminode और staminate का डिफरेंस क्लियर हो गया, right? Okay. Similarly, is there any confusion between monoecious, dioecious वाला फंडा? किसी को कुछ डाउट है? Monoecious, dioecious. I hope you all know what is monoecious plant, what is dioecious plant. What is unisexual plant? What is bisexual plant? Because ये generally बेटा confusion ये basic है, लेकिन इसमें confusion हो सकता है बच्चा आप लोग का. अगर ऐसा कुछ है, anyone is not sure with these four terminologies, kindly ask. Do not take the things कि जाने तो बाद में देखेंगे. It's not like that way. Kindly clear your doubts. Longer. Yes. Yeah.
The diagram is given here. Over here, it is showing that the peripheral ones
Short.
are shorter.
If inner are longer, outer are shorter. Outer are shorter,
so it
inner
can be
are
either
longer.
way, right?
Yes.
But
Any condition.
the number of 4.
हाँ. 4 plus 2 is going to be your tetradynamis, and 2 plus 2 is going to be your didynamis. That is for sure. Okay, there won't be any difference in that. Fine. Anybody else who is having any doubts, beta? Done? Clear? Okay, fine. So let us wind up for the day. On Thursday, the chapter would be completed, and